Lutsk is a town in Ukraine, 400 kilometers west of the capital, Kyiv. The small town has been in the news recently for all the wrong reasons. In May this year, a 4-month-old bear cub called Nastya was brutally removed from the zoo by a local animal trader. The entire so-called capture was filmed and the footage handed to international animal welfare organization FOUR PAWS, who are busy with a massive animal welfare project in Ukraine. UK-based animal rights crusader and vet Marc Abraham paid the project in Ukraine a visit to try and find out more about FOUR PAWS and the work they are doing in Ukraine.
Obviously I've always been passionate about animal welfare, and I think that's led to me being invited by this fantastic charity, FOUR PAWS, to see the work they're doing here and maybe to help raise awareness and to highlight the phenomenal teamwork that's going on in such a small pocket of the world.
The animal welfare organization has sterilized an astounding 6,000 stray animals since April this year.
So, a real pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Thank you. Here we are in a shelter, which really is still in its first phase. It was like old factory, and the one who cared for this asked us since long time, please come to assist. Chef over 150 dogs not castrated, and the colleague were assisting here in the last days on this, as well as are catching animal from the street.
Teams of vets and mobile clinics patrol the cities of Ukraine, assisted by local authorities. Local authorities who only months before were using the most brutal methods to control the stray animal population in the country. FOUR PAWS introduced a more compassionate and humane approach, winning over the hearts and minds of Ukrainians. Marc joined the FOUR PAWS teams based in Lutsk. He was hoping to see firsthand how the organization carried out its stray animal care program, and at the same time pay the bear cub Nastya, who was recently rescued by FOUR PAWS from the animal traders, a visit.
Tell us about the attitude of the local people to animals, because in one sense they're bringing pets to be castrated, neutered, and in the other sense they're stuffing a baby bear in a box. How varied are the attitudes to animals here?
If I speak about the Ukrainian people, they are really great citizens. The people I met, the citizen I met, especially the poor, ordinary persons, have really a great heart. They are very rich with their love to animal. They care for the animal on the street. I never saw any emaciated dogs at the street here in Ukraine in general. Regarding this with the zoo cub or the bear cub Nastya, this is really, I will say, mafia person, few persons. They are animal dealers. They try just to get money and business and don't care for animal or for human.
Marc's first port of call was an animal shelter on the outskirts of Lutsk. Bulgarian veterinarian Marina and her team were more than willing to show him around. The process starts with catching the stray dogs. The dogs are caught by hand or using a blowpipe. These dog catchers work under extreme conditions. The threat of being bitten by a dog is a real one. The presence of rabies in the country makes this even more hazardous. On a good day, they can catch up to 20 dogs. The dogs are then taken to the mobile clinic to be sterilized by the vets. Eager to get involved, Marc scrubbed up in a fully equipped mobile clinic operating out of a shed at the animal shelter.
So Marina, describe the process of a bitch spay.
Okay, the dog is already anesthetized. It is on the table, as you can see, and now my colleagues will prepare the baling for the surgery. Then the set with the instrument is ready. Then we can start.
A lot of places don't have gloves and don't have these facilities at all, so this is actually extremely well equipped.
Marc assisted Marina while she sterilized a female. Working under these conditions can be challenging. The animal's well-being is put first and everything is done with extreme care and at a blistering pace.
Techniques these guys are using are fast, they're safe, very efficient. So you've pretty much got a ready-made neutered dog back on the streets. And one thing I find fascinating, which I didn't know, is that the ear tags that they use and the tattoo numbers are so when people find a dog in the street and they want to adopt that particular dog, they get in touch with FOUR PAWS and say, I've just found number 14725, can I have it as a pet? And of course these guys have got all the information about that dog, and that dog can get rehomed, and I've never sort of seen that process of adoption done before, and it kind of makes sense in a way.
Project leader Dr. Amir Khalil then demonstrated his castration technique to Marc. At the official launch of the project on the 23rd of March this year, Amir sterilized a male dog in 90 seconds.
Very impressed, yeah, quick, safe, and when you've got an animal that's just been anaesthetised with an injectable, so there's no gas, there is a time element involved. The quicker you can do it, the better, and that was pretty quick.
A few kilometers away at the Lutsk Zoo, a new drama was unfolding. When Nastya was rescued, it was hoped to reunite her with her mother, Masha. For this reason, she was brought back to the zoo she was brutally removed from. Unfortunately, due to the immoral breeding practices carried out by the zoo's director, the bond between Nastya and her mother has been destroyed. This is due to her being removed from her mother at the age of 4 months. Usually, bear cubs in captivity stay with their mothers for a year and a half. FOUR PAWS has up until now been monitoring Nastya on a daily basis. Negotiations are well underway to construct a new home for her far away from the terrible conditions at Lutsk Zoo. The day that Marc Abraham wanted to pay Nastya a visit was the day that the zoo director threw FOUR PAWS off the zoo property.
Yesterday we have a publication in Reuters worldwide. We get about 16 pictures from Nastya worldwide. And apparently it was sure with information about confiscation, about the vet situation at the zoo. I think this turned immediately politically here with the government to the mayor, and the mayor gave instruction to the director that our staff not to go to the zoo till he meet me on Monday.
Okay, so it's not advisable to go there today?
It's not advisable.
Marc was desperate to see the conditions at the zoo, and a decision was made to pay the zoo a visit posing as tourists and using a hidden camera.
So we've got this cartoony, smiley, happy bear waving at everyone as they come past the bear enclosure, and that happy, smiley, cartoony bear has got a backdrop of hundreds of thousands of miles of natural habitat. No wonder he's smiley and happy, and literally feet away in this horrible, dark, hot enclosure is Nastya, the real baby bear cub with no natural surroundings, no hundreds of miles of environment and habitat to roam like in the wild. Okay, so it looks like we're being followed by a big bloke who is probably after our equipment, so it was a good time to leave. Impressions of Lutsk Zoo, a bit weird really. You've got domesticated animals that are given exercise and given light and given water and given what looks like fresh food. Minimal animal welfare requirements really, contrasted with these huge predators, the lions and the bears, given tiny enclosures, concrete boxes really with no stimulation. The food that they had was rotten or just stale bread rolls, and miserable. So huge contrast, pretty depressing on the whole. We saw Nastya, she looked pretty stressed, stereotypical behaviour of pacing and sort of grunting and backwards and forwards. So yeah, it's been a very interesting experience, but definitely was definitely time to leave.
After his visit to Lutsk Zoo, Marc was then taken to a proposed site where a new home for Nastya is to be built.
So there you have it, we're being shown around this fantastic new enclosure that's planned for Nastya. We've got 30 hectares of woodland. We've heard about the plans for this place. It's green, there's going to be streams, there's going to be a water wheel, a waterfall, loads of environmental stimulation and enrichment, which compared to what we saw earlier today at the zoo is just miles away. So not long now, Nastya's new home, it's going to have a viewing platform for the public. They're going to pay to get in, that money goes straight to charity, and it's going to be used as an educational resource to teach kids how to look after animals, not to see them imprisoned in a zoo, but to see them enjoying themselves out in the fresh air, loads of light, and actually being bears.